Hello and welcome to another Ask Cheeky. I'm Isaiah Henkel with Cheeky Scientist. Today's question comes from Samantha Robinson. I want to know how to get hired and get a referral, but I can't get a referral from anyone. Samantha, thank you for your question. This is a problem that a lot of PhDs have. They know, they've seen the data that getting a referral, especially from an employee working at a company you want to work for, that's the fastest way to get hired. It's the fastest way to get hired. It's the highest quality way to spend your time during your job search. One good referral can put you ahead of everybody else that submitted a resume online or otherwise and get you a phone screen and an interview very, very quickly. Within 2 weeks, you can be hired if you have a good referral. So the question becomes, how to get a referral? We train at Cheeky Scientist on something called straight line referral generation, which means that you are working in your network to get to know employees working at the companies you want to work for. And then once you engage them, once you become connected to them, or once you get an introduction to them, you are moving them along a straight line towards a referral. It doesn't mean that you're being fake or manipulative. It means that you're staying focused on your professional goal. You're adding value to them, you're being authentic, but you're always moving towards a referral. Because what happens is a lot of PhDs, they start talking to somebody who works at a company, and then they say, how are you doing today? Or how's your year starting off? And they come back and say, good. How's your starting off? Your year starting off, and they say, good. And then that's the end of the conversation. Or they reach out to somebody and they don't hear a response at all and they just give up. You have likely hit a sticking point like this before. And it's what has caused you to get off of that straight line going towards a referral. You start thinking, well, they didn't leave an opening for me to come back and ask them about their job or their company. They didn't leave an opening for me to ask for an informational interview. They didn't leave an opening for me to ask for a referral. I did everything that I could. They're not helping me at all. They're not giving me anything to work with. It's not their job to give you anything to work with. It's your job to move them down that line towards their referral. And there are 3 parts of that line. So the first part of the line is just engaging these people. Ideally, you'll be working with your primary connections on LinkedIn or otherwise to be introduced to people that are working at the companies you want to work for. Otherwise, you'll have to reach out to these people yourself. And don't give up if you can't connect with them on LinkedIn. There's plenty of free tools online that'll help you find somebody's email address, especially their company email address. It's very easy, and you can send them an email. And as long as you're approaching them correctly in that initial email, you will move down the straight line towards a referral. So in that first third of the straight line, the first third of your interaction with somebody, you just want to get them to respond. And it can be as simple as mentioning a holiday. It can be as simple as mentioning that it's the new year and asking them how their 2020 is going. It can be as simple as saying that you saw them come up on your LinkedIn feed at some point, or you saw that they liked a post on LinkedIn, or that somebody told you about their company and you thought to reach out because you had some questions about their company. Just ask a simple question, a sentence, not a paragraph talking about yourself and your skills and then asking them to get you a job, but just reaching out politely as a professional, giving them a rationale for why you're reaching out. Again, it's 2020. I saw you come up on my LinkedIn feed. I just wanted to say, I hope your 2020 is going well. How are things going at XYZ company so far? Or I saw that you got a promotion recently on LinkedIn. How's the new position going? Very simple. Just get them to respond. If you get them to respond, you can move towards the middle third of that straight line, which is asking them questions about their company. This is the informational interview stage of the straight line. And it's not complex. You don't have to meet with them in person to have an informational interview. All you have to do is ask them a question about how they got a job, how they got into their role in the first place. What did the process look like for them? What do they like about their current company? Ask them. My favorite 2 questions to ask are, what do you like the most about your current role, and how did you get into your current role? And you can decide which one to ask first. But if you get them to respond, that's where you want to move to next. That's how you stay on that straight line. So they might respond to you by saying, my 2020 is going very well. How is yours? Mine's going well too. Thanks for asking. I've been looking at different careers or different companies in XYZ industry, and I saw that yours is doing ABC. What do you like the most about working at your company? They might come back to you and tell you what they like the most about their company, and then you can ask them, well, how did you get into that role? What did the process look like for you? Make it seem casual. Don't add pressure to it. Don't make it seem like you're asking for anything proprietary. Don't make it seem like you're going to ask them to do work for you to help you get a job. Just ask them with sincere interest about the company, what they do on a day-to-day there, what they enjoy, because you're elevating their credibility when you do this. You're asking for their opinion, their advice, what they like, and you're giving them attention. That's how you're adding value. And then you can move into that final third of the straight line referral, the final third of the line, which is moving towards a simple question to get something of value in return. You've given them value by giving your attention, by being professional, by being polite, by letting them talk about what they do, right? Showing them appreciation for what they do in industry. Now you want to ask, this is really fascinating to me. You can go three directions here. The first one is to elevate the informational interview. So if they tell you they enjoy the company, if they tell you that how they got into the job, try to elevate it and see if they'll get on the phone with you. So I really enjoyed talking to you here. It sounds like it's a fascinating place to work at. I'm going to be making calls tomorrow. Do you have three or 4 minutes where I can ask you one or two more questions about your company and what you do on a day-to-day basis? So try to elevate the informational interview. Okay, and I'm just doing this off the cuff. It's just a casual ask. Try to elevate it to a phone call. Try to elevate it to meeting in person. And again, reduce the intensity, reduce the barrier to entry, the activation energy that they have to give. Don't make it seem intense. You're going to be making calls anyway. You'd love to call them on the phone. It'll only take 3 to 4 minutes, right? Make it time specific and topic specific. 3 to 4 minutes to ask you 1 or 2 more questions about the company you work at and what you do on a day-to-day basis. That's number one. Number two, if things have gone well when you're interacting with them through LinkedIn messaging or through email, you can ask them for a referral. Ask them to pass along your resume to the hiring manager, right? When they ask about you, which they will do after they answer your questions, they'll say, well, what about you? What kind of career are you looking to get into? If the conversation goes that way, you could say, I'm looking for careers in XYZ industry. It sounds like your company is a great place to work at. Would you mind passing along my resume to the hiring manager? Or just ask them for what's coming up in the pipeline. Are there any jobs in XYZ area and research coming up in the next couple of months at your company? Right? Get some intel. Go for the referral. If all else fails, just tell them thank you for their time and then ask them if there's anybody else they could introduce you to who could tell you more about the company. That's the one where 90% of the time they're going to say, sure, let me introduce you to so-and-so, or let me think about it and get back to you with somebody's name. Always ask for somebody else to talk to if the referral doesn't work out and if you're not able to elevate the informational interview. That was a lot of information. We train on this specifically in the Cheeky Scientist Association. So you can go to PhDsGetHired.com to learn more about the straight line referral process. As always, remember your value as a PhD and start thinking and acting like a successful industry professional.